the movie's over 2 hours long.
Yeah, it didn't need that long.
Uh,
It was 2.5 hours.
2 hours and 24 minutes, sir.
Hey, listen, man.
6 minutes.
In my world,
That's
we
6 minutes.
round up.
You can get a lot done.
We round up. I can get a lot done twice. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, whoa.
Yeah, we're just gonna start this shit live.
The only time I caught the Holy Ghost was when I was in church drinking.
Like they're two dumb dudes. Welcome to the latest episode of Sarath and Chris's Movie Therapy Podcast.
I mean, we could just. I would love to. We should just talk about one time about a movie that we want to watch and what we expect out of the movie, but not actually hadn't seen it.
Like just like, well, I saw the trailer. I think the trailer's about.
Well, so okay, you want to know a movie I haven't seen that I know a lot of people have seen, and I actually
You're gonna say something that's super common.
Well, it's super recent.
Oh, okay.
I ain't seen Barbie.
Wow, you haven't seen Barbenheimer?
Yeah, well, I've seen the other half. I've seen the one that matters.
Well, you know what's funny? I've seen Barbie 3 times and I have not seen.
Really? Come on, man. Come on.
I don't like period pieces, man. I don't like movies that are set in the past. I don't like a movie that the obvious that we know what happens. It's not like at the end, like, hey, surprise me if at the end you'd be like, you know what? We assassinated the guy that made it. The shit never happened. Like, like what was the movie with Quentin Tarantino?
Oh, Inglourious
Bastards. Yeah. I was like, yeah, that shit is dope. Like, I mean, give us some shit.
No, but I'm saying like Oppenheimer is, dude, it's so fucking good, and the tension it builds, and it's just adults talking. The whole movie is adults talking. So
it's like I don't know, man. Like when they do prequels, like where that it's like, let's say they do a prequel to like, I don't know, a character that died in the first movie, like where this is headed. So it doesn't matter how it's like, motherfucker.
No, but still, like sometimes it's nice seeing the journey there, Come on. If you read a book, you know what happens, but then you see the movie, you want to see the journey there,
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Oppenheimer, it's too real. It's too real. Like
how you know? You ain't seen it. How you know they ain't calling like motherfuckers?
I read about it.
Dropping all this?
I read about it.
Yeah,
I know.
They could be talking real hood. They might have changed up the dialogue. You don't even know.
It'd be like, nah, we gonna drop this Oppenheimer. Like you're gonna call it the time. They're like, nah, we're gonna call this the Heimer.
No. We're not. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go to Japan. We're gonna drop this shit. We're gonna watch it fall and watch all the motherfuckers run.
What I want to do, I want Tom Cruise to do historical events, but like change the fucking plot. Like,
did he do one? The one about the bomb in Germany?
I think he did one, but I want him to like take a like a Mission Impossible take at it, like he goes in like World War II instead of the Holocaust. He just like kills Hitler and then like drives off like. In the same motorcycle from
MI2.
Yeah,
well, that being said, welcome to the latest episode of Sarath and Chris's Movie Therapy Podcast. It's your boy Sarath, aka Makazi.
It's definitely not Chris, aka what is it, Red 4? Red Delta. It is Marcos, aka at the Sunset Kid 56. Chris, he's not here.
Yeah, Chris ain't here. Chris is he praying to the porcelain prince right now. Yeah,
we told them about gas station sushi.
I know. He always, whenever he sees fish, whether it's in the lot, sushi line, on the corner, whatever, he can't help.
It's like, hey man, this guy said he's tossing it out. He's like, hey man, I gotta support small businesses, baby.
Like, I smell tuna. I gotta eat.
It's like, bro, he's selling you shrimp in a bag. It's not even in a Ziploc. It's in a bag. He's like, nah, man, that's the deal, baby.
Listen, if I'm in a different country, I might eat some shrimp in a bag if that's like the custom, You ain't never been to like, look, you ever seen those videos where they go to Mexico and like down the bus and they go in there, the people go on the bus to try to sell stuff and they be selling juice in plastic bags.
Nah, I'm good.
You don't want to just look like you're squeezing an udder. And you're like,
I've drank the water in Dominican Republic, and I honestly think it's because I am Dominican. So
that's why you drank it, or that's why you didn't get sick?
That's why I didn't get sick. I wanted to do it on purpose. Like I remember we went last February, me and the wife, and I saw her, she was about to pour
Yeah.
Coke in a glass that they brought ice, and I was like, I just tossed the ice because we were like in an outdoor restaurant,
Hmm.
and she was like, "Why you did that?" I was like, "I don't know what the fuck that ice been like." And knowing you, your ass to go drink it, and then this is day one. We be in the room, you feel like I'm dying, and then me, this is why I'm a horrible person. I'd be like, "Hey man, you can't ruin the whole show for everybody, baby. Like, I still got to go to the beach."
Nice of you to put your wants in front of your wife's. She wanted a cold drink. You're like, no, 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 no. We trying to get some sun.
No, I might have said, but then the guy later on, because I was talking about it, he was like, "Nah, it's filtered wheat," and I was like, I still don't believe you, dog. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to, like, I don't want to be that guy. Be like, I'm gonna go to the back. Like, my wife is white, like,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like white to the point that she throws out food that's been laying out for 2 hours. Me, I didn't realize until I was an adult that you couldn't eat rice that was left on the pot for days.
Bro,
I
no,
was like,
no,
what
I
do you
still
mean?
do. I still do.
Like,
I'm like, if it starts smelling right, I'm like, all right. We putting that,
it's
but it's cooked and it's in the fridge. It should be good for at least a week.
man, like she was pulling up some stuff like that you can't the bacteria. And I was like, what are you talking about? You cooked it in the thing. And then
Yeah.
she was like, at least you ain't taking it out and heating it up. I was like, so what am I supposed to do? Waste another pot to
Yeah.
right? Like I heat up the same pot and when it cools back down, it goes back in the fridge. Like
Well, you know what? Speaking of doing things in foreign countries, this movie, was took a turn and then moved it itself out of LA and brought itself to a foreign country. But Marcos, this was your pick this week. So why don't you let the people know what movie you picked?
I picked Dennis Thieves 2. What is it, Pantera? I don't know. Like
Pantera.
Pantera, like they called it. Like at first, I was like, "What are they going? They gonna go to Spain and steal panthers?" But but the movie is wild as hell. So,
Yeah.
like
Well,
full
first of all,
disclosure
Pantera was the name of the
of the unit,
yeah, the unit. So go.
which at first introduction, I was just like, "Man, this is crazy that they go name the movie after a unit that like he comes in, she's drinking coffee and they're not paying attention to him,
Yeah.
and then he's like, oh yeah, that's not the guy. First of
Yeah.
all, can we talk about the main lead, your man over here, Gerard Butler, looking like he was on a 4-day bender?
Yeah. Okay, but it was in character. You saw where he
It
was at the
was
beginning
it?
of the movie. You saw
Yeah,
where he
but
was
it's
at the beginning of the movie. Either they wrote it into the story or what. But if you go as someone, I'm sure you have, as someone who's gone through a divorce and all that
yeah.
shit and all the stuff he was going through, you go through moments where you looking a little disheveled, bro. You looking like Clayton
But
Bigsby.
But can we talk about like so the first of all the movie opens up and they're trying to give us like this Ocean's 13 type vibe.
Yeah.
You got man O'Shea Jackson and I love saying his name by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. It's a good name.
O'Shea.
It's a good superhero name.
It's a good superhero name. So your man is like apparently somewhere. I want to say that where are they in France or Italy? Where's the part of the thing? No.
I don't remember. I just know it was some kind of port somewhere.
Yeah. So basically, Donnie Wilson joins the Panther crew. They
Yep.
call the movie Pantera, which is also the name of the cop unit
Yeah.
that Nick Gerard Butler's character visits. So it's like, wait, so the Panthers are chasing Pantera? Like it's weird. But
Yeah.
anyway, they do this crazy level assault like on the thing, and the entire time I'm watching it, I was like, why is the stewardess a part of this group?
Yeah.
Did you get that entire impression the entire time? Because all she did was she was on a laptop that really wasn't doing anything, but she was just looking out a window, going, "Hey, man,
No,
so
but
there's
she
a
was
cop
keeping
coming."
she was keeping a lookout. She was keeping track of, if the other cops are coming and all that shit. She's one of the most important ones because she's surveillance.
Yeah. So they do all this shit, and then they steal what we're led to believe is the diamonds,
Diamonds, yeah.
and then so full disclosure, at first, like I wanted to see it in the theater.
Yeah.
As you know, we got passes for it, but before I got the passes, I was like, you know what? I saw that it had leaked like a cam version, and the
Yep.
cam version, which I assume was a European version, completely opens up like the same, but the scene after Gerard Butler's divorce,
Yep.
first of all, he doesn't throw away his ring. He doesn't rip up the papers. First of all, that is crazy work. He
Yeah.
just took the ring and just threw it in the bathroom. Somebody came after him, was like, "Oh, we got a wedding ring over here," and probably
Hey,
so.
man, he feels he's in his feelings.
So the part where he's at the bar, right, and he looks up and listens to the story.
Hmm.
There's a part that I saw it at home. I saw the digital release. I didn't make it to the theater. He goes and he's sitting there, and he says, "All right." He goes to his unit, and they have this whole scene with his captain and another person, and he's
Yeah.
basically like, "I want a whole team to find Donnie."
Yeah.
And the captain says no. So in the digital release, from what I saw, they replaced that scene with him going to visit the hooker and getting the information from the hooker who's what's it called, Pablo's
Yeah.
wife, the
Yeah. Wife,
actor,
girl.
Porn Stash.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his girl in the thing, right? And he's there, and he's kind of like doing his thing, and he gets her to tell him where they're at. First of all, how did this guy know all this? How did she know all this information?
I
Because not
mean,
only she
no,
knew,
because from the looks of it, it kind of takes part right after, not maybe not exactly after, but after the last heist, and
yeah.
so presumably, they was planning some stuff to do after they are done with that heist. Well, before we even get into that opening heist. Okay, so we've had movies with opening heists before. We've had Dark Knight, Dark Knight Rises, all the Oceans movies, stuff like that. You would think in those movies the opening heists are a little more elaborate. It kind of shows off what these people are capable of. This one wasn't all that elaborate. They
It
just
wasn't.
waited.
And then they had so much gear,
Yeah.
and then when they get out, they take off their masks.
They take off they go over there, they just go, they run up on them, freeze, or you go onto the plane, get whatever and get off. There wasn't no like misdirection or nothing. It was I expected a more elaborate opening
Hey
heist.
man, it wasn't in the budget, baby. O'Shea, first of all, for a movie that took place right after the setting of the first one, Donnie must have hit a buffet. He must-
We ain't gonna comment on that. My man was acting.
yeah,
He had
he
the French
was. He
accent
was
and
acting.
everything.
That whole thing, I was just like, okay, somebody got some acting classes. Like,
Yeah.
all right, like I enjoyed him in the first one. The second one, he was pretty decent. So then from there,
I was pleasantly surprised by the first one because the first one, again, O'Shea wasn't that big of an actor then. You had higher people with higher billing. Pablo Shriver, who was fucking awesome. Then you had 50 Cent.
yep.
Yeah, you had all these other people, and O'Shea was kind of the background actor, and then it turns out he's the one pulling strings the entire time. So I like seeing him go from maybe fifth billing on the last movie to all of a sudden getting moved into
So
top billing on this one.
I was thinking about this, and I was going, I was kind of wondering in my mind. I was like, okay, so how did this work out? Do you think it was a plot like twist that they built in, or was built in also with the hopes of getting a sequel in which they were going to push O'Shea into the starring role? Or you think it was kind of like a plot twist that they're like, all right, if anybody likes it, we could work something out, like either a prequel that we could bring back the main actors, or
I think it was the plot twist that was written in there, and they just you developed it after. So okay, how can we take this character and develop him a little more? Because in watching the first one, the idea that the guy that was in the background that you didn't really pay much attention to turned out to be the mastermind, that was a really good twist.
it was, and that movie was a surprise hit.
Yeah.
Like the action, there was a pivotal scene when they're working out, and the dude goes to pick up 50 Cent's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, what he say? He said, you can fight. He's like, he was like,
I forget. It's been a while since I've seen that movie.
like, it was one of my favorite movies.
Why did you pick Den of Thieves 2?
Because it was one of those movies. I really enjoyed the first one. And the second one, it was like kind of like, what? Like, I remember hearing that it was a rumor to come out, and then boom, it's in fruition.
Yeah.
And then also O'Shea, I'm one of my favorite hobbies or passion is wrestling.
Yep.
He's big into the wrestling world now, your industry. So I was like, hey, this is kismet. This is the universe telling me, let's do this movie. Normally a movie like that, I wouldn't care. And like, I'll watch it when it makes it to like Netflix or something. But It looked good, I think, and also we are living in an era that Gerard Butler is turning in performances that are ridiculous.
Yeah.
All the way from
Good ridiculous to bad ridiculous. Is it
no, good ridiculous. Because you remember the movie Plane? You remember Greenland? You remember
Greenland? I like them in Greenland.
you remember what was the one about the weather that I listened to another podcast? It was so fucking funny about it. It was the one that he was a scientist that they had to go to the space for him to like change the weather.
Bro, I
It
don't
was
remember that movie
it
at
was
all.
some movie that I was just like, yo, like the fact that he's just like he doesn't say no, but he's actually churning out good movies that
But okay, but his star power. I mean, after 300, he was on the cusp of being the next big action star,
he
and like
was the next big action star though.
no, but after that, he did like London is Falling kind of thing.
Which was his thing, and it would have been a lot better if it wasn't for the fact that they had White House Down, which was a
Yeah,
Channing Tatum movie that was not good, but the chemistry between Channing Tatum and Jamie Foxx was a lot better
yeah.
than
No,
because you
but
know
what I'm saying is like he was on that trajectory to be like a huge star. Now he's recognizable, but I don't think his star is as high as it used to be. Is that a case of the movies that he's picking, or is it a case of just is he taking what he can get? Because I mean he's gonna be in the live action How to Train Your Dragon,
yeah.
so that's gonna
But
be good.
I think what's going on is that he didn't sign off to do 300 Part 2. But he was in How to Train Your Dragon, as you said. But now he's going to be in the live action. I
Mhm.
think where his career derailed was Gods of Egypt. He had a major role in that, and then
Okay,
that movie was accused of whitewashing, and
yeah.
that tanked that entire movie. And then after that, that's when he started Geostorm. That was the
Okay.
movie.
Now I remember that. Okay.
Geostorm. I was like, I saw the trailer, and I sat there like looked at my then girlfriend, now wife. I was like, what the fuck is this? I was like it's a satellite that controls weather. And they're like, oh my God. And I was like, that's stupid. And then he did Den of Thieves, which was in 2018. That was good.
Yeah,
Then he did Hunter Killer, which was horrible.
never seen it.
And yeah, and then he did Angel Has Fallen, which is probably the worst out of the Fallen series.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he did Greenland, which was pretty good. We liked it. It was a post-apocalypse. And then Cop Shop, that was good, but a crazy freaking movie. Last Seen Alive was crazy as well. Have you seen Last Seen Alive?
No,
Last Seen Alive.
but this is my point. It feels like a lot of the movies he's picking seem to be straight to video trajectories.
But no, they weren't. Most of these got to the theater, with the exception of Plane, Cop Shop, and Last Scene, because those were the pandemic era.
Yeah,
But Kandahar was probably one of the best movies I've seen in a minute.
yeah,
Like honestly, when he goes and he gets his translator,
yeah.
that was a real like that one. I was like, oh, here we go. But that one was really, really good. Like it
All
was
right.
one of those movies that I rock with it.
All right. Well,
And so
speaking
when
of good, you got Den of Thieves 1 and Den of Thieves 2. Which one do you prefer? Do you prefer
oh,
one or the
100%
other?
Den of Thieves won because it had Pablo, it had 50 Cent, it had like the acting wasn't falling on O'Shea Jackson by himself. He's a good
Yeah,
actor,
yeah, yeah,
but Pablo is probably the most underrated
yeah.
dude. But you got to think about it. If Gerard Butler, he was in Dracula 2000.
Hmm.
Like Gerard Butler has always been like, okay, we
Yeah,
can't get this main guy, and that was why it took him a while to get like 300. He didn't get paid a lot, but the
yeah.
reason they cast him is because
Wasn't he in like Tomb Raider as well?
yes,
Yeah,
so he's always been the guy that okay, you want a suave European dude, and you couldn't get like anybody else,
yeah, yeah,
insert him.
yeah,
It wasn't like he didn't start getting movies for him
yeah,
like Law Abiding Citizen after 300 when they were like, all right, but then he did a what is it, Gamer, and that's when his stock was like Gamer was a complete failure, and they
yeah,
hung
yeah.
that on
I
his
remember that.
neck.
I
I
feel like
thought I
that's
liked it.
yeah. But I feel like that's the movie where it started. You kind of started seeing his trajectory go like
Yeah.
Mm,
And then he did a movie with another person that's usually a hit. He did a movie with Jennifer Aniston,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
that movie tanked.
yeah.
And it's like there's always like these European actors that make it big in like certain roles
Hmm.
that don't know how to transition. Always have an issue. Like the person that I think is an A-list actor that a lot of people trying to think that he fell off is Tom Hardy.
Oh, Tom
Tom
Hardy's
Hardy,
phenomenal.
he is, but
Phenomenal.
a lot of people were like, "Oh, you talking about from Dark Knight Rises?" I was like, "No, Tom Hardy was in a bunch of movies before that. He
Yeah.
did one of my favorite low key movies of all time, which is Warrior." And a
Yeah.
lot of
Warrior's
people
fucking
were,
awesome.
it's an amazing movie.
Hmm.
So they were like, "Oh man, he's not really bringing in. He did." These guys that are action guys and they try to do like rom-com. Like remember he did Tom Hardy did a movie
Chris Pine.
with Chris Pine
Yeah.
that they were like after the same girl, and I was just like, they don't fit in these
No, but
movies, dog.
the thing is,
Like,
I get it because they try to set him up as like spies and stuff like that. So I get it. It's just there's certain people who, again, Tom Hardy fits a warrior of fucking what was it, Lawless,
yep.
the one with Shia LaBeouf, and like again, he's got more of a rugged look to him. So when he plays the pretty boy, he can. It's just I think you prefer him in those little more rougher
I
movies.
mean the what's it called? I think Bikes or Cycles, whatever the movie that he did with Elvis recently. That movie was dope.
Riders. I think it was the Riders.
Riders. He
Yeah.
was him.
Yeah.
And the character wasn't a character that he was a rough crazy dude. He was like, if you think like if you I don't know if you watched it,
Part of it.
he was like a dad.
Yeah.
And then he just had a writing club, but then he was such a tough dude in the streets back then that they were like, "Oh, nah, he's our leader."
Yeah.
Like we're scared of him.
All right. So why did you prefer? Okay, you said because of the acting. Why you prefer Dennis?
The acting and the plot was a little bit buttoned up more.
So
This plot,
so here's
like
the
you
thing.
said,
I like. I'm with you. I like Den of Thieves 1 over Den of Thieves. If I had to pick one, I like them both. I actually like this movie.
I like
a lot.
them both too.
But I'd have to say because it felt a little more gritty. This one, maybe it's just me. It felt like they were going a little Fast Five route.
Yes, they were going. I feel like they were. This was them trying to make this into a franchise.
Yep, I'll agree.
Like
With
they
that.
had a singular story. I'm happy that you mentioned it earlier that you thought it was a plot twist, Donnie's character that they now after the fact were trying to build upon,
Mm-hmm.
and it felt like that.
Yeah.
Like we got very little background of what Donnie is, and then all of a sudden he's thrusted into being the mastermind
Yeah.
of this entire group. And you saw when the European guys were like, "Who the fuck is you, fam?"
Yeah.
When the dude was like, "Why are you even here?" And
Yeah.
then the girl stuck up for him, like, "He's the reason we all here."
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
like,
he's this high level criminal and stuff that where you never got that sense.
yeah,
in
like
the
we
first
needed a
movie.
prequel.
Yeah.
Whether it was somebody else playing him or something, or maybe he has a younger
I don't,
brother.
I don't know if you necessarily need a prequel because it's kind of like okay, again with the Fast Five comparison, it's like there's a line in there where Ludacris goes, "Yeah, we all had lives before we met you," and it's one of those things where it's like he in the first movie he was kind of playing his role like that. If you watch that movie, he was playing his role as part of that heist. Whereas this movie, now you're seeing who he is and him planning the heist, stuff like that. So,
But I felt like his character had a lot of heavy lifting.
yeah. Oh, no,
Like-
it definitely did. I don't know if he was completely successful with the French accent, but it was nice seeing him go. It was nice seeing him try. It's like seeing Brian Tyree in Bullet Train
Yeah,
when he's got the English accent.
British. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's
Brian
nice seeing
Tyree,
him do that.
I don't know. I love Brian Tyree. He could do like he goes from a serious role to a non-serious role like amazingly. Like
Yeah.
I've been watching stuff that I didn't even know he was in it that from the last couple of years, and I'm like, oh man, like he just made this movie instantly better.
Yeah,
But
I
then
mean,
there's
people don't
certain-
realize that he's a Yale trained fucking actor.
Yeah, like he's legit. But like in the movie, okay, like I get it, they wanted to add more of a wrinkle. Like he didn't need to steal like so many diamonds in the world. He steals the one mafia boss's diamonds
Yeah.
that, and then all of a sudden, like he's been carrying these diamonds and probably looked at them and he didn't notice that there was a tracker bug, and the Jewish guy
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in France found it, and it was like, oh,
So are you thinking this movie was unnecessarily complex?
yes.
Okay. I don't.
And
Here's the thing. I'll agree and I disagree because yeah, there's certain elements where I think it was a little unnecessarily complex, but at the same time, I actually could have used a little more in a sense that I would have loved to see a lot more of the how did they plan this heist, how did they
Yeah.
figure everything out, because a lot of that middle area is just the relationships between the people that are actually pulling the heist and just
Yeah,
seeing how they interact with each other.
and then the movie's over 2 hours long.
Yeah, it didn't need that long.
Uh,
2.5. It was 2.5 hours.
2 hours and 24 minutes, sir.
Hey, listen, man.
6 minutes.
In my world,
That's
we
6 minutes.
round
You
up.
can get a lot done.
We round up. I can get a lot done twice. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, whoa. Well, anyway, now 3 times. It all depends. It all depends, man. You don't need a lot of that. No.
No, but like, okay, so like again, like the beginning of the movie, you kind of just see a lot of where O'Shea or where Donnie and where Nick's characters are. So that's O'Shea and Gerard Butler, and then in the middle, you kind of just see the relationships between people and how they interact with each other to see who's starting up static with who's not really feeling the other person. You don't really get a lot of how did they plan out this, other than okay, Donnie becomes an executive at some the diamond branch or whatever, but like you don't visibly see like okay, like planning out the heist.
And it's funny because like it's funny how you said that he became the executive. It's like it's basically like a marketplace where every jeweler, the main jewelers have their stuff, like the direct, like the actual suppliers, not like a jewelry store. And the guy tells him, and he was like, "Oh man, you don't really need a lock. This is the most secure place." And I was like, imagine if this happened in real life, and this guy, after they get robbed, he remembers, like, man, I told that guy that this is the most secure place. It's like, man, you put it out in the universe, baby. Like, you fucked it out.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's like when I watch that whole middle section of this movie, I'm just like, oh, I don't know if I care enough about the relationships much. Because nothing that was done. It felt like every relationship. It felt like everybody was trying to be too cool.
Yeah.
And so I didn't really care about the relationships that much.
Like they spent a lot of time in a club or in a bar.
Yeah.
Like when he first got there, how do the security guards go from like, we got to keep an eye on this motherfucker to like, oh man, yeah, brother, let's have some shots. I'm like, what?
Dude,
And then what I didn't like is the obvious looks. Like when he was the lookout, when he sent her in to honeypot them, and like, like the fact that he left and he didn't look drunk. He looked drunk, and then when he got to the door, he's like,
yeah,
and like listen. I guess I am too paranoid. Like if you were setting me up, right? Like you setting me up. And we drinking, I would notice if you stopped at the door and then all of a sudden you're like making eye contact with somebody. I'd be like, wait a minute, this motherfucker setting me up? Like,
but that's just like when that lady was walking O'Shea into the place. He's walking around like,
yeah. And
like,
the security guard.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is a good movie. He's like, they're understanding what's happening. But I'm like, no, he's obvious. He might as well should have had his camera click,
This is where everything is.
Like writing stuff down. Cause he was like, I've never gone to a secure building and while somebody's walking me, I'm doing everything except paying attention to them. It's like, what the fuck? What are you doing, sir? Like why you I feel like if I walk into a Bank of America branch right now and I just start doing this.
Yeah.
And then like while I'm asking questions like, hey, so what time is your guard's lunch break? And like I'm gonna get
how many doors y'all got to get to the vault? Oh yeah, okay. That's good. That's a lot of doors. I like that. Now that's how I know my money's safe, because you got 5 doors to get to the vault.
They're like, yeah, 5 doors. You said they have 3 locks on them. Like, wait a minute, sir, you're about to get arrested.
All right, let me ask you a question. Okay, this is gonna be because this one that I don't know if I wasn't paying enough attention, but this one that bothered me. How did they figure out the whole red light, green light, like the timing that they had for different floors or different doors opening and closing? Like, how did they figure that out beforehand?
I want to presume that it was something that happened when Nick dressed up as a security contractor and they got the layout of the vault. I don't know.
But it was quick. Like when he does that, he kind of goes in, just looks around, but like you don't get that sense that they're actually like solving the different problems they need in order to pull off this heist.
It might have been left on the cutting room floor because they were like, God damn, this movie's about to be 2 hours and 45 minutes.
You don't
but
need
it's like
you don't need the fight between Nick and the guy because he's dancing with the girl.
Yeah.
I was like, well, what is this for? What?
I don't understand. And then all of a sudden, when the chick is like, "Yeah, he got fired because he got into a fight with you. Now you're part of the of Panther," and I'm like,
"Yeah, but he fought too."
Like, it makes no sense. And then a couple of things is like, I get it. Like the whole the movie, it was gonna happen. It would have been crazy if Gerard Butler's character Nick would have gone up to Donnie and be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna steal this money with you," and Donnie would have been like, "No, you're not," and then leave.
It's like, no, you're a cop. Get out of here.
And like, they really trusted him real quick. And then, first of all, him like Nick, as a person that's a law guy, he really came off like a fucking idiot. When they're showing, when he's like, "Hey, stop right there," like, enhance that picture. And then he's like looking at the guy, and his eyes are like, he's like this. When he's in the police precinct, he's like,
and
then they're like, "You know him?" And he's like, "Nah."
No.
But the entire time he's like massive.
But here's the thing: in my head, I was like, "Why?" Because the whole time getting up to that moment, he's like, "We got to catch him. We got to catch John." So there's nothing in there that makes you go, "Huh?" Like, why do I not want to catch him all of a sudden?
It's like, man,
it's a good movie, but I feel like like I said, I feel like they tried to go too international.
Like, no cop is good in this movie. Apparently, no cop is good at their job.
No,
because he came in. So you flew all the way off of a hunch and get there, see the board, and I'm like, all right, so he gonna work with them and do some international type thing. And then they pull up the video, and he's like, "Nah, I don't know that dude." And the other cops are like, "Oh, okay, cool."
Because he goes, she walked the guy through, right? Black guy, yeah. For a moment, yeah, okay. Then they show him the
ask
video.
all these specific questions, and then he's like, "Guess it must have been another black guy."
But no, like, I feel like this movie could have used a little more grittiness, and not that it's a bad thing that they kind of went glossy with the Porsches and the settings and the international settings and stuff like that. But because that first one felt so much more grounded and like street level, that I kind of wish this was too.
I wish this movie would have been set in another country that there were more black people.
Like
because the fact that he walked into that precinct and said talking to a black guy, and they all looked at each other like, "Yeah, there's not a lot of them here," and they're like, "That's crazy."
As he's talking to a black guy.
Yeah, it's like, yo, nobody looked like Donnie, but nobody remembered Donnie. Like, it was like, "Oh, this is cool. It's totally cool what this guy is
that
doing."
Black guy that talks French that's running around.
He's like, nah. There's only that one guy, but it can't be him.
Yeah.
It's like you describe him like he looks like Ice Cube. Nah. But yeah, he does, but it's not him.
Okay, so what did you think about the actual heist? Okay, so what they had to do is they had to go into the vault in the diamond wherever, and then they go in there. They're presumably going floor to floor, different areas. They gotta time it out between the doors opening and closing. That they have the opening to get into different spots. And they finally get in there, and then they just kind of rip the whole thing apart. And they're like, "Oh, they're looking for it. They're looking for something." Which is, that obviously Donnie gets that diamond, but like, is he the only one that knows that they're going for the diamond?
I think if you're a fan of the first one, I think I expected a twist. Yeah. What I don't like about these heists is it's like you in there for money, but yet you're letting everything else.
Yeah, they're just dropping everything. Like
I'm like, I'm like, bro, this is all. Hey, I'll be like, hey, I got pockets, dog. Like, you know, a couple more diamonds here and there. And call me ignorant because I don't know anything about the jewelry market and everything. I thought all diamonds are tracked. I thought inside of them there is laser etching that could tell you who this diamond belongs to.
I think
So
you've been trying to plan one out yourself, so that's why you
no. Because that's how technically the Sicilian mafia found their diamond. They had the tracker,
Yeah.
but they alluded to the fact that they bought those diamonds. It wasn't like they stole them.
Yeah.
So it's like at some point in the diamond registry, which he worked at, which was supposed to be where they were at, it could easily be like, yeah, a black guy doesn't own this. This is a mobster that's in jail. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but I don't
All
know.
right. So if you were pulling a heist, where are you? What country are you trying to pull it in? Just out of curiosity.
I would, if it's a heist.
Yeah, like a heist like this. Like where are you trying to go? And what are you trying to steal?
Okay, I got a couple questions. Is this something that's coming in? Like, you know how like they're like, oh, the Queen's jewels are coming in on display for this week.
It can be anything. You might just like you might just like that country, and that's where you want to do a heist.
Oh, 100%. I do it in my parents' country of origin, my background, Dominican Republic. Because
What are you gonna steal there? You ain't gonna steal nothing.
Hey, you don't know. You don't know. They might be
baseball
a
players,
king.
human trafficking.
I don't know. They might have a king or something, some Shah of like Saudi Arabia, somebody that come in and is traveling with jewelry. And I feel like in countries like that, you could pay off people to just be like, I ain't see shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like they always do these complicated heists in places that everybody is highly educated. There's people that have morals and standards. Like you know what I mean? Like the security guards, right? Like a lot of people think your security relies over the person that has the important job that is paid the less amount of money.
Yep.
Like remember the security guards that he bribed at the club, bought him drinks, that the girl skimmed his phone and got access to the plans or whatever. Those guys are probably getting six figures. The guys that he could have probably approached are the guys that do the stocking of like paperworks, the cleaners. Those guys know the whole layout. That's where your security risk. A person gets $9 an hour and has to go through the same security system that you do. Like think about this at the airport. The people that walk through you, like the person that works at McDonald's, sometimes they get waved through. Those people are the ones that if I'm doing anything in the airport, I'm like, yo, here's 10 grand because I know you'll never see that amount of money in your life. You work at a McDonald's at a fucking airport. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I need you to bring this in next time you go into work. Like, you know, like shit like that. Or like the concession stand guy. It's always like that. But like when you're dealing with these heists and the French authorities, everybody, like nobody there is gonna risk their job.
Yeah.
Like they're like, oh, like no, this is the pinnacle of my job. Even the guy that's showing him the suite that he took Donnie to his office, that guy would be like, nah, bro, I get so much money and I have free security and all I do is show people around. Like this is my job. This is my pinnacle. This is not like this is my career.
Yeah.
This is not a job that I applied to be a clerk at. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think if I'm pulling a heist somewhere, it's probably going to be in like either Spain or like somewhere in the
You're gonna
Netherlands.
get caught. That's what people are expecting the heist to be.
No, no. You know? But I'm going to some place where where that country feels like they don't really care to be part of the world. That makes sense.
Okay.
They're doing their own thing, and if they're doing their own thing, that means they got some shit that they ain't worried about.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, we got some shit here. We ain't worried about whatever's happening in the rest of the country. We just doing our own shit over here. So that means they got some shit over there. And that's where I'm doing my heist.
So, okay. So now that we're talking about heist, like, would you want to be a part of the heist or you want to pay a crew to do the heist for you?
I'm a bit of an adrenaline junkie, so I might want to be part of the heist.
But okay, Sarath, let me ask you this. Right now, you have the idea, you have the planning, you have everything, you have the Donnieism, right? Except, like, for some reason, Donnie apparently had tactical training, the way that they gave him a gun randomly in the 5 minutes of the movie.
Remember
First of all, why didn't they talk English in the car?
I don't know. I have no idea. There was a bunch of times where they don't talk English, where I'm like, they can talk
like
English.
Everybody here talks English. Why
Yeah.
they?
But there was also the old guy that was part of the mafia that you met. He's like, here, you got my stuff, whatever. And then when they went to go break fucking Donnie out, and you realize he was one of the fucking guys.
Yeah.
That was, to me, that was dope.
Yeah, that
Go
was
on.
a plot twist. Like, that's what they do. But no,
Yeah.
like
So you say,
there's
okay, so
certain
you say if I'm pulling a heist and everything's already mapped out and like, I'm on my Donnie shit. Go on. What were you asking me?
like would you be a part of it? I think the guy that plans it, I would like to be the guy that is like, I don't know, you ever seen Tower of God? Do you watch anime?
I do watch anime, a lot of anime, but I've never seen Tower of God.
Okay, so one of the guys that's super OP in it,
Mm-hmm.
he has what I can call like a little ball
Mm-hmm.
that is like a camera that he coaches a team to like get through these obstacles. It's like team battles. It's crazy. But he's one of the most OP guys in the anime. But
Yeah.
he chooses not to participate because he's like the guy that has the plan. I'll be the guy in the chair.
I'm gonna
I
fuck
don't.
that.
I'd be like, yo,
I don't
you're the
trust
one
you.
that's getting
You're the
shot
first
at.
one. You're the first one I'm taking out. As
No,
soon as I
I'll
get
be the
back,
guy in the chair.
as soon as I
Why?
get back, I'm taking you out. So okay, here's my thing. Here's
The
my thing.
guy in
I'm
the
like,
chair
I'm kind of like the
is the
Joker. I'm kind of like the
okay.
Joker. The Joker's a mastermind, but he was in there at the time. And this is purely because there's a lot of things I do in my life where I've just come to realize I'm a bit of a control freak.
Mhm.
And the only way I'm gonna know if some shit is gonna get done right is only if I'm in the thick of things. Okay.
But you got to think about it. If in any good heist movie, the guy in the chair, the guy that's the lookout that plans it, not in Den of Thieves, but in other things, he's the guy that has all the contingency plan. He has all the power. 90% of the time, he's the guy that knows whatever merchandise that you're stealing, he's the one that knows how to get it sold. Like you could be the hired gun. Like let's say, like unless we're stealing money, and even that is serialized. Like you know what I mean? If we're stealing a diamond, motherfucker, I could be the greatest gun in the world. Do you think I know how to sell a diamond? That
Maybe you remember you seen Italian Job.
yeah,
Fucking Mark Wahlberg had the plan, but he was also in there. Like he's like, this plan only works if I'm in there doing it
but
with
Ed
him.
Norton fucked up because you
Yeah,
saw he kept doing stupid shit. He kept selling one gold bar. He was losing money for every gold bar because he didn't have a fence.
yeah,
He went to a random the guy that ended up betraying him.
yeah,
That's the guy he went to. Like,
yeah. But what I'm saying is like the guy again, the guy that knows how to do the marketing and knows how to sell it, he can be part of the crew too. But
but
he doesn't have to be.
that's the guy that
He
has
doesn't
the
have to.
leverage.
No, but he doesn't have to be. Nah, because he doesn't have access to it. He can have, okay, I can sell it, I can go line up the buyers and all that stuff, but like I'm the one that's gonna go bring the merchandise. So that's why we work. He's part of the team.
Yeah,
But
but that
he
guy
ain't
can
smart enough to
easily.
put together, he ain't smart enough to know how to break into a bank, whoop ass and knock out some security guards.
But those guys are grunt workers. Like I get it. We're groomed as U.S. audiences that's the guy, the hero, the guy in the infantry that's shooting people and all this stuff. I'm like, yeah,
No,
that's
but I
all
mean,
fine and
yeah,
dandy.
but that's it. But that's like saying just because they're the grunt worker don't mean they ain't smart. There's some people who are smart, but because they're a grunt worker, because they're in the thick of things, they know what it takes to get, to get something.
But like, okay, let's say you're part of a crew that you're working for somebody. Because
Mhm.
in this scenario, if you're not the mastermind, you're part of the crew.
Yep.
Like, and let's say you're the last one left. Let's say you get out scot free, and then at the end, you're only getting your fee while this guy is gonna take. Let's say you steal bearer bonds, right? And you're like, "Fuck this guy, I'm gonna betray him." Where the fuck are you gonna sell bearer bonds? You're a
No, but
hired gun, dog.
no, but the guy. But what I'm saying is, if it's your plan, if you're the
Yeah,
one putting the plan together, that's you're still you have all that figured out. You're not sitting there just waiting. I'm gonna trust this guy's like he's got this really good idea, but he wants to hire me. You hire people who have specific traits that can pull off what you need to pull off, and you might be the guy. Like your best trait is being there and like playing quarterback while it's all going on, not sitting back just being like, oh hey, what's going on over there? I just tell me how many cameras are around so I can tell you which one not to look at. Like no, like sometimes it's being there and making that split second decision.
but
That's why
sometimes that
I think
doesn't work
Donnie's
out.
character was like that.
Do you remember? There was I don't know if you guys before me reviewed it. Movie Abigail,
Abigail,
the
I know that name. What do I
the
know that name?
vampire,
I
where
think I've heard of it, but I didn't watch it.
so basically it's a crew, right?
Mhm.
One guy's Carlos Esposito hires a team to kidnap a little girl,
Mhm.
and he's like, "Oh, this is my boss's daughter. If we kidnap her and ransom her," and then the guy puts together a crew. He's the guy that got hired by him. but he just hired like these people that they have only small pieces of the plant.
Yep.
And because he's a control freak, he
Mm-hmm.
gets there.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? Spoiler alert. The kidnapping was all a sham. She's a vampire. And Carlos Esposito's character, he gets people that are criminals that nobody will miss so she could basically hunt and feed on them.
Yeah.
And the guy was hired to get a crew, but he got greedy and was like, nah, I'm going to bring my own crew instead of hiring out.
Yep.
So
Yeah, but I
that
mean
was his
that's like
comeuppance.
saying but that's like saying like that, just because they're part of the crew or they're not smart enough to pull off the heist. Well, all I'm saying is when the shit goes down, I'm not putting my life, in the hands of someone else and hopefully his plan works out. Me personally, I'm going to be the person with the plan.
You know
And I'm
what?
going to hope everybody else can follow me.
I think we need to do our first TV show.
Oh, dude. Well, first of all, it wouldn't be our first. We already did a first TV show. It's called.
Excuse me.
It's called Sarath and Chris's movie therapy podcast Side B. And that's where we do TV shows.
I'm down. We need to do that Netflix show, the heist one.
Which one is it called? The Heist?
I don't know. It's the one about bank robbers that they did one in Spain.
We'll take a look. We'll see.
That one, like the guy was not he was the mastermind. He was nowhere near the heist, and he had to insert himself to make sure that things went to plan, but nobody knew who he was.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because like the way he planned it, I would want to do it like that. He like at the end of the day, if everything blew up and they all got caught, nobody knew who he was, and he literally could have walked away and be like, "Beep, you ain't get me. I had nothing to do with it. You don't know who I am. You don't know nothing." Like they're the front-facing people. I'd rather be the unseen hand, as they say.
Well, that's kind of how Donnie was in the first movie. He was kind of that unseen hand that like you just weren't really paying attention to. Then you find out he done screwed everybody else over, which was dope. All right, so in regards to heist movies, where do you have a top 3? And does Den of Thieves 2 fall into your top 3?
No, I'm gonna say it's not in my top 3. One of my favorite, like, heist movie or movies that featured heist.
Heist movie.
Okay.
Like the heist is the reason why we're there to watch the movie.
Okay. So one of my top 3 kind of falls into that category. I'll let you because I have a replacement. My favorite heist movie, it's gonna be the first Oceans.
Okay.
The one with the remake because the chemistry of that acting and the way
so the remake of Ocean's 11.
Yes.
Okay, the one with George Clooney and all them.
Yeah, because and the only reason I didn't put the first one up there is because the first one did not have the special effects and didn't have because unfortunately it was Hollywood at the time. They didn't have the broad range of cast.
Yeah.
Like I think the first Ocean, the remake with George Clooney had everybody there pulled their weight.
Yeah.
It wasn't like from anywhere from Casey Affleck to I forgot the blonde guy that's always paired up with Casey Affleck.
Yeah.
Everybody
Mac was in there.
Yeah. Everybody brought their A game.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of my favorite movies. That was a traditional heist movie. That was amazing. There was my second one, which it's crazy. It's like two worlds combined into it. Gone in 60 seconds.
Okay.
That was good. That was more like popcorn. Like nobody won an Oscar, but it was a really good movie. I liked it.
Yeah.
And my temporary third one, if you shoot it down, is Baby Driver. Have you ever seen Baby Driver?
Oh, I love Baby Driver.
It's a really good movie.
Yeah.
Really good movie. Like I like the lead. I like John Hamm, his switch that he turns on in that movie. It's insane. Jamie Foxx was in it. Like everything. That movie to me was peak cinema. I enjoyed it. I saw it on a screener 3 months before it came out. Like I went to the theater, I reviewed it, saw it when it came out again. I it's one of the few Blu-rays that I have. Mm-hmm. I still watch it even though people are like, "Oh, screw Kevin Spacey." I'm like, "Yo, it's still a good movie."
Yeah.
But my backup to that what would be My backup to that would be actually Fast Five.
Okay.
It's
That's
like,
interesting because again, I think we have two of the same. It's gonna be the remake of Ocean's 11, which is really fucking good,
it
and
is
then Fast
Steven
Five.
Soderbergh, the
Yeah,
the 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 soundtrack,
yeah,
the cinematography, amazing.
yeah, and then Fast Five because it's it's such a different style heist, and it's one of those ones where not everything goes as planned, but
Mhm.
then it all ends up going as planned, which
And
I
then
fucking
yeah,
love.
like the which they stole from Ocean's 11. Like
Yeah,
at the end when they were like when The Rock opened
yeah,
the thing and he's like some bitch,
yeah,
and then they went back that whole. I honestly think I might be wrong, but in the modern era that I can remember, that whole going back to showing what actually happened,
yeah,
that was
yeah,
an
yeah.
Ocean 11's thing in the remake,
I think it was. I think it was.
and like
I think also like one of the reasons why I really liked it is because when they're trying to and then this is why I wanted some of this in Den of Thieves too. The scene where they're getting different cars and
yep,
trying to beat the camera, and they just realize they can't beat the camera, so they got to
yep,
figure out a different way around it. Like that whole R&D, that's what this movie was missing. Because they had a
yeah,
little bit, but you never really it kind of just worked out. Oh yeah, he
yeah.
goes and looks. Okay, we got the plan. Whereas in that movie, you were like, no, no, no. Like, just your first idea might not be the best idea. Like, you got to keep shopping it, trying to figure it out. But then my third favorite heist movie is The Italian Job, the remake with Mark Wahlberg and Jason Statham, and
I like it. I like it a lot, but it's top five. It's top five. One of the OG ones that a lot of people don't give love to. I'm trying to actually look it up right now. The Thomas Crown Affair. That movie
see,
was.
I was never a big Pierce Brosnan fan, so I never watched that.
I didn't like. You know what's funny? I didn't like him as 007.
No, I
I
didn't like him.
enjoyed him in other movies. I
Yeah,
think the movie with Jackie Chan, he was amazing in that.
which one
When
was that?
Jackie Chan was unhinged, that I'm trying to figure. I'm looking at. I just saw it
Hold up.
again recently.
Oh yeah, yeah, The Foreigner.
Yes, that
Bruh,
movie.
Jackie Chan was fucking dope.
I
Where they're
was
like, yo,
I
you
was
killed his
scared of
dad.
him. I've never thought in my life I was going to be scared of Jackie Chan.
Yeah, because they were like, okay, who is this guy? All of a sudden, this old guy. Then all of a sudden, his daughter, the Chinese girl from fucking Harry Potter, gets killed in an explosion, and next thing you know, it's like, oh, the wrath.
Yeah, it's like this ain't
Yeah,
2017. That was a good year for movies.
but yeah,
Like I
it
believe
was.
Jackie Chan dropped
Do you have
the
a favorite Jackie
remake.
Chan movie?
Huh?
Do you have a favorite Jackie Chan movie?
I
I could go. I
do.
could. I could do a whole episode on just Jackie Chan movies, but
I do. I'm trying to figure out, right,
Mhm.
what my favorite Jackie Chan movie is. I know the name of it, um, the US name, but I'm trying to remember what the actual name is. It's a remake that he did of the cop movie, the one that made him famous here.
For Police Story.
Yeah, but I don't think it was. They called it Police Story in the U.S., but I think it was a completely different movie. It was around the time that he did The Foreigner. Um, that he plays a cop there, but he's more jilted in that movie.
Is it somewhat recent
Yeah, well, recent as in it's
in the
pro.
two thousands?
It was Police Story 2013.
Oh, okay,
That movie
I
was
didn't see that one.
it was really good. It's because it had different names. They called it Police Story Lockdown, Police Story 2013.
Yeah,
It was him it was a reboot of
yeah.
the Police Story in which he was in, but he was also the main star. Like it's funny, like I love Jackie Chan. I can't believe his son is a jackass.
Yeah.
Like he set him up so many times. He was in probably one of the best kung fu movies ever. His son, what is it? Jace? Isn't that his son?
JC.
JC. He was in shit, and he was in one of my favorite movies. I'm looking it up right now.
I'm really
Invisible
curious.
Target. He was in
Invincible.
Invisible Target, and that's when he was trying to like push him down everybody's throat.
Yeah.
He was in Twins Effect 2.
I've seen, yeah, in Twins Effect 2, he was dope.
He was in
I think he
shit.
was also in, I think he was in Gen Y Cops or Gen X Cops.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Invisible Target, that was the movie. That movie. So Invisible Target was one of my favorite movies because it has one of my favorite contemporaries of the Jet Li Jackie Chan era, which is the guy that nobody gives any credit to, and then you probably know him because me and you are such good friends that we like the same type of shit. Wu Jing.
Oh yeah,
Do you
Wu
know?
Jing, yeah, or Jing Wu.
I
Yeah.
fucking
And
love him.
bro, listen, have you ever seen SPL?
Yes.
SPL.
Yes.
Well, for people that won't know that, they think it's Killzone.
Yeah.
In America, it's Killzone.
SPL.
SPL, and then
He was in Twins Mission.
yep. And
Fatal
then
Contact was amazing. Have you seen Fatal Contact?
yes,
Where he played the wushu guy
yeah, he
that
has
they
a,
started having fight. Yo, that movie was sad, bro.
yeah.
Um,
Then well, he was also in what is it? What's the what, damn it? He's in
he was
it's
in
an
Fatal
American movie.
Move.
He was in John Cena movie.
Yeah. Um, he
Yeah, a
was
lot of
in
people don't know who Wu
Shaolin.
Jing is. He was also the villain in Dragon Tiger Gate.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. He was under the mask. But
Yeah.
like, yo, I think he's a guy that like the guy from
He was in Meg, the Meg. He's in the Meg.
yeah, he was in
Yeah.
the Meg. No, he was a good guy in the Meg.
Yeah.
He was in Wandering Earth 2, which is probably one of his best movies, Wandering Earth, which is like that Asian cinema. Wandering Earth is actually those two movies. You should check them out.
All right.
He was in Wolf Warrior 1 and 2.
Yeah. Seen those.
It was
I'm telling you,
what
man.
is
Like
it?
as far as favorite Jackie Chan movies, again, I can go all day with the Who Am I's, the First Strikes.
Shaolin
Rush
was an
Hours.
excellent one. Even
What's
though
up?
he that was a who's who a movie. Wu Jing was in it, Jet Li, and so was what's it called, Jackie Chan.
Which one?
It was starring Jet Li. It was Jet Li, Andy Zhao, Nicholas C, Jackie
What
Chan,
was the name of the movie?
Shaolin.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was
no.
really
Yeah.
really good.
But no. I think my favorite, if I had to pick a favorite Jackie Chan movie, I think I gotta go with the classic. It's got to be Rumble in the Bronx. Rumble in the Bronx is so
That
fucking
movie,
good.
I remember when people were like, "Yo, you ever heard about this Jackie Chan?" I'm talking about, and then I would look over at all my videotapes.
Yep.
I'm talking about this guy,
Yeah,
right
yeah.
here.
I remember the
Drunken
first time,
Master?
bro. The first time I saw Rumble in the Bronx, I was at my cousin's house in Brooklyn, and they had it on bootleg, and they popped it on, and I watched. I was like, "The fuck is this?" That shit was
Yo, that Asian chick that always in his movies. I used to hate her, but like she
So
was
the
perfect.
one that the
That plays the sister in Rumble in the Bronx.
yeah, the one that was in Romeo Must Die. She played the girl on the motorcycle.
No. I'm talking about the
I know who you're talking
the
about.
the dorky one, the one that she was in the bathroom and then the side of it came off and she was like,
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, she's the one from. Well, she's from. She's from what's that movie? It's the movie with Michelle Yeoh, with the three girls.
Yeah, you talking about the I know you're talking about the 1990 something movie.
Yeah.
That I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
But she's always a comedic actor, but she like comedic like annoying. Like she was like, "No, Jackie, like
She's like, oh no. He goes, I'll get you heels. I'll get you more diamonds. A big one. You promise?
like I'm trying to shit,
Right.
what was her name?
Annie, it's Annie something. Annie
It's-
Kwang or Annie Kwan or something like that.
I think her name is Anita Moy.
Anita, yeah, there you go. Anita,
But
I knew
she
it began with an A.
played Elaine. But she was actually a very attractive girl, but they made her like they put the glasses on her and
Yeah.
she was funny. She fucking died. God.
Yeah, she died a long time ago.
She died in 2003. She was only 39, bro.
Yeah, I remember that.
She was a pop star. Of course, like every Asian woman that's an actress. They like, oh, you're gonna sing first, bitch.
All right, so Den of Thieves 2.
Ah,
Very
you almost
clearly-
had. You see, you
Very
you
clear.
tripped
First of all,
up.
yeah. So, I'm sorry, I'm Dominican, so that's why.
Wow.
I messed up my words. Okay, so Den of Thieves 2 clearly sets up a franchise at
Yeah.
the end of the movie,
But
right?
do you think, gun to your head, you think we're gonna see a third one?
I think we're gonna see a third one. I'm curious to see where they develop it, because if you're looking, it's already made its money back on budget.
Yep.
So it's already made enough to warrant okay a third movie. The question is where do they go from here? What do you think? Where do you think they go from here? Because
I mean,
it looks like they're
based
putting
on
together a new
like I
crew.
looked it up. I looked it up because Donnie sent what's his name a text message that said something something something
He said the cat. He
the
said
tiger changed his stripes
yeah. It looks like
and
he said it looks like a tiger changed his stripes. The cats are out of the cage. See you
yeah,
soon.
which does that mean that he's still cool with him? Because I know he helped him.
Well, so that's the thing. Because what happens is at the end, when they get caught, and then he goes, oh yeah, by the way, sit back to the left.
Yeah,
And then when he gets pulled over, when he gets fucking like broken out, you notice when the guy goes to cut, he switches over and he moves to the back left, and that's
Yeah.
when he realizes he's getting broken out. And then when they say okay, because before he says he goes a tiger never changes his stripes. So that's when he goes, oh, no, the tiger just changed his stripes. So he's basically saying like, oh, I know what you just did for me.
yeah, like he knows like he said see you soon, Fraulein. Now Fraulein, does that mean like I know that it's also a name, but is that also a place?
I don't know.
Uh
I'm not sure what that means. What that's probably German, right?
yeah, it's
Fräulein,
German
F-R-E.
unmarried woman. It's supposed to mean unmarried woman. So I don't know. Maybe Donnie's too smart for us in, in
I don't
real
know.
life.
I don't know, but I think I think that there's gonna be a third one coming. If I'm willing to bet, takes place somewhere in Asia, but I can see that.
Do we get John Cena with his mythical what is it, shadow punch? what did what did Jackie Chan teach him?
I forget what it was called, but hey man, it can't listen. It can't be any worse than the Jericho's elbow. It can't be any the
First
Judas
of all,
effect.
but
Can't be any worse than the Judas effect.
yeah, but the Judas effect, I feel like that's a broken what is the orbital bone waiting to happen? Because he doesn't look, and that's what's scary. And it's like,
It's
it's like
wrestling.
it's completely on the person that doesn't know when the move is coming
Yeah,
to like
it's
go
wrestling.
with it, roll with it.
All right, though. Final thoughts on Den of Thieves 2.
Final thoughts. Out of five, I'd probably give it a 3.5. It's a very decent watch. I'm gonna watch it again because
Yeah,
I watched everything again to see what I missed. And I
yeah,
wish we could do a post show like, oh man, we forgot to talk about this. Because like I like to watch movies one shot all the way through as close as possible before we pod about it, so I can have all the details fresh.
yeah.
But then sometimes you watching it in life, like I noticed that I like to watch the movies alone because I focus better.
Hmm.
Because then, like, I don't know how your girlfriend is, but my wife, you'll hear like TikTok, and it doesn't matter. It could be something that she wants to watch,
Yeah,
but her mind goes to something. I'm like, oh, what the hell? Like, I just like, what do you do? Can you lower that? And I'll miss something key in
yeah,
in the
yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, sometimes I like just watching it alone because it's like for me I'm treating it like a job. Like I'm watching
yeah,
this specifically because I want to pay attention to the details of things that stick out so that I can, reiterate them back here. And then, sometimes you watch them just to enjoy. But I think with this movie, I think I liked it. It's one of those movies that like I'd probably watch on a plane, or
yep,
if it's on in the background, I'll leave it on. But I don't know if I'd go
yep.
search it out. Whereas the first one, I might actually go and like go actually put it on.
I'm gonna rewatch the first one this weekend at some point. Like
Yeah.
I found it, I already bookmarked it, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
because it was like such a good movie. Like I remember when it came out, I was like, I don't really want to watch a movie with 50 Cent.
Yeah.
Like when 50 Cent when he first came out, I was like, yo, he's really good. But then
Yeah.
there were certain movies that he was doing with like over the hill actors, like the movie he did with De Niro and Al Pacino, that
Oh,
was
fucking
really bad.
Righteous Kill.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was really bad.
Yeah.
Like they were all there. Like 50 Cent was like, oh, this is gonna be my career. Like and then like the other De Niro and Pacino were like, we're just here for the paycheck,
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah.
Like they looked like they didn't even give a shit. Like he was trying to act, and they were like, anyway.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But no, but what piqued my interest was Pablo. Pablo Schreiber is an amazing actor. Like I was like, oh, this guy sucks as Porn Stash from
Yeah.
Orange is the New Black. But then I saw him in 13 Hours. Woo! When he was Tonto,
Yeah.
boy, oh boy. And then I went back and started searching for him. He's a really good actor.
Yeah.
And
apparently he went to acting school with what's his face? The dude that played Magneto.
oh, Ian McKellen?
No, not Ian McKellen. Like a new Magneto.
Oh, you talking about the guy that looks like John Hamm, but it's not John
Yeah.
Hamm.
The dude he was in The Killer.
Yeah. That movie was good.
Yeah. I forget his name, but Michael Fassbender.
Yes.
I think they went to acting school together, and like they would always. I think they would those two were like the top two actors. And
I
that's
can see it. Pablo, and then the fact that he could play an unassuming guy, I didn't realize how jacked he was.
yeah. As
But he's always
Pornstache.
been that big. Yeah, it's porn stats because they kept covering up. But I'm like, yo, this guy's like 6'5",
Yeah.
like 250 solid. Like this guy
Yeah,
could
he
be a
could-
wrestler.
He could easily be in. He could easily be in a superhero movie. That's what I'm waiting. I'm waiting for that breakout role for him because he's like an actor's actor right now. Like
Yeah.
actors or people who watch movies recognize him. They know what he can do. But
Yeah,
I'm waiting
he-
for that one where the audience goes, "Oh shit!"
I hope he does that before we get a Nathan Jones career out of him. Jesus,
Well, because
Remember when
I've been
Jo-
watching Nathan. I've been watching Nathan Jones since Who Am I?
bro, and I was surprised that the E took a flyer on him. And
Well, look at him. He's a stunt man who's
Yeah.
used to being physical, who's giant.
Mhm.
Like I would have,
And
I would have rolled the dice too.
yeah, but he,
Anyways, all right, that's the latest episode of Sarath and Chris's Movie Therapy Podcast. Once again, it is your boy Sarath, aka Makazi.
and your boy Marcos, aka at the Sunset Kid on all socials.
Yep, Chris is here. He's the black bars that you see up here.
Yep. He's
There,
just
that's-
he's asleep right now. He's has his eyes closed. Chris, wake up.
We'll catch us all next week where we come back with a new movie. I think it's going to be Chris's choice next week. So we'll see once he, picks himself up from the toilet, what movie he's got for us. But until then, man, catch y'all later. Remember to follow us on all socials, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, wherever you can find us.
Yes, sir. Till next time, y'all.
Yeah, later.
I'm a warrior.